I'd like to thank you and welcome you all to the September 21st meeting, regular monthly meeting of the Portsmouth City School Board. I ask now you please stand for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. We're happy to start our meeting off this evening with some very special VIP guests that we have here with us on this evening. I'm going to ask Dr. Brace if you would come forward and introduce them at this time.
Thank you, Chair Patillo, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
That's a little better. I tell you, everybody sound like you're still out on summer break, but that's okay. Look, we're gonna feel our way around tonight as well, because this is our first meeting since June. So, welcome everyone. Glad to be back in session. Glad to have school back in session, and most importantly, glad to welcome Churchland Primary to the building tonight. So let's give them a round of applause. So I will introduce our special guests at this time. First, we will have, that will bring us the Pledge of Allegiance. And as you come, I will read a little bit of information about you, and then I'll introduce the student that's going to provide the school statement. So first, Amari Thomas. Amari is a 5th grade student at Churchland Primary and Intermediate School. He has been at Churchland Primary since kindergarten. He is an honor roll student and a safety patrol member where he's ensured that there was order in the hallways. He's also been in the CPIS book club because he loves to read and often brings his book to the cafeteria to read as he eats his lunch. I wish I was that disciplined. Amari promotes kindness in his community and is always willing to help others. Amari's goal this year is to be the best student in his class. He said there are 2 students ahead of him, but he plans to be number 1 in his class. Amari's parents are Chad and Justacia Price, and if you all are here, will you all please stand at this time, his parents. Well, thank you. All right, next I will introduce Catherine Cox. She will be providing the school statement. Catherine is a 6th grade student at Churchland Primary and Intermediate. She is an honor roll student and a member of the Gifted and Talented program. In addition, Catherine is a Girl Scout, a member of the Jack and Jill Portsmouth chapter, and the Field of Morale's Infinity Court 003 Eastern Star chapter. When asked about her career goals, she said, "I'm still thinking about my career goals." Right now, she just wants to keep her options open. Hey, we all appreciate that. We'd also like to introduce Catherine's parents, Carrie and Candace Cox. If you all are present, will you all please stand? And with our students tonight, we have the distinguished principal, our principal of the year for Portsmouth Public Schools, Ms. Rosalind Exum. So at this time, we will turn it over to you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Amari Thomas, and I am happy to be here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Cox. I have been a student at Churchland Primary and Intermediate School since the 3rd grade. I would like to share some of the great things that we do at our school. We follow the PBIS rules using our 4 R's: be ready, be respectful, be responsible, and reach for excellence. When you have entered this building, you have officially entered the kind zone. We model excellence at our school, and Ms. Exum gives us daily reminders over the PA system during the morning announcements. We have Dojo Palooza, fun Friday activities in the gym with the DJ, games, and snacks. You must earn dojo points for positive behaviors to attend. We have safety patrols that make sure that there is order in our hallways. We celebrate the Student of the Month events. These students are recommended by their teachers for being the model student in their classroom. We have watchdogs at our school who volunteer to help out. These are dads of great students. We have the U.S. Coast Guard and the U.S. Navy who volunteer to read to our students. We have Spirit Fridays. Last Friday we wore kindness shirts or shirts with positive words. We have Crazy Hair Day, dress like a twin, and wear your pajamas to school, just to name a few. We have reading, math, science, and history family night out events. Our parents learn about strategies to help us be successful in school. What I like best about school is my teachers. They care and are not just teaching the curriculum. My mom is our PTA president. Thank you for this opportunity to share with you the wonderful things that are happening at our school.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity to share with you some of the events that we do at the home of the Thoroughbreds.
I have so much in common with both of you. I attended Portsmouth Public Schools as well as a young man. Mari, I was third in my class too, but I was third from the bottom. But you are a lot smarter than I was, and you all both are the pride of Portsmouth. And Catherine, I also was in the Eastern Star Young Youth Department when I was a young boy as well. So thank you so much for your dedication to Portsmouth Public Schools. You're leaving your options open. I hope one of those options is a teacher and come back and teach in Portsmouth Public Schools one day too, because we sure could use you. But thank you both, and I hope y'all have a great evening.
Thank you.
Will you take a picture? Thank you all again.
Thank you so much.
All right. And I want the parents to know you can feel free to leave your children. You have to get ready for school tomorrow, so I definitely understand. Thank you so much. Dad's like, come on, I'm ready to go. All right. Thank you. Agenda item 3.5, the school board mission statement. The mission of the Portsmouth Public School Division is to engage all students in learning that will foster academic excellence and responsible citizenship. Agenda item 3.6, attendance roll call. Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs.
I'm sorry,
Boone?
here. Here.
Dr. Cotton?
Present.
Mrs. Hines?
Present.
Mrs. Thomas?
Present.
Dr. Whitaker? Dr. Patillo?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 4 is the school board representative report. Do we have none? What's it?
3.7.
Oh, I'm sorry, 3.7. Approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hines, and second by Vice Chair Atkinson. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote. Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much, and it's now time for one of my most favorite moments on the school board meeting, our school board student representative report.
Yes.
Okay, hi. So good evening, Chairman Dr. Patillo and Vice Chairman Atkinson, Superintendent Dr. Bracey, and other board members. I would like to once again share my gratitude to you all for allowing me this position to represent all students from kindergarten to 12th grade in Portsmouth Public Schools. Okay, I am excited for this year. I plan on working closely with Ms. Nolasco and the entire board to push my platform this year, which I have decided to remain a secret until next meeting. Ooh, serious. Tonight, though tonight I decided it was best to introduce myself to the city of Portsmouth, though I've been going to Portsmouth Public Schools since Hodges Manor Elementary. Ooh. I would just like them to see who's going to be the voice of their reason and what they need this 2023-2024. So created these slides. It's called Everything You Need to Know About Your Student Rep. All right. Starting off, hi, my name is Karina Drummond. I'm 17 right now, 18 soon. I go to Manor High School, and pronoun she, her, grade 12, senior, of course. All right, so I have 3 siblings. All of them are in a PPS school. There they attended. My oldest sister, Kyra, she attended when she was younger, and my 2 younger siblings are both in elementary school, and my younger sister's in Manor with me now. I'm in the dual enrollment program to get my general studies degree. Not sure what path I'm taking quite yet. I have 2 options. We're going to see what we do. I have invented extracurriculars at this point. I'm in probably every club that my school offers except certain sports. So forensics, FBLA, Model UN, theater. I'm a PBIS ambassador. FCCLA, Math Honor Society, and History Honor Society, so I do both, including like just the regular one. Just joined DECA. I'm a president of quite a few of these. Just didn't throw that in there, but definitely I do a ton. To the next one. If I would describe myself, of course, I love me. So I definitely would describe myself as outgoing, very social, energetic, determined, hardworking, kind, funny, motivated, and any other good word that might come to mind. It's me. Why student rep? Why did I even choose this position? Why would I even sign the paper to come in and do the meeting in the summer of all things, you know? I have decided that because I've always had a passion for helping others. I mean, especially young people. I love seeing kids grow up, and I love helping people go on the right path. I mean, you listen to people who are like you and around your age range, so why not help them? We don't always listen to adults who are like, hey, guys, we've done it before, so why not someone else there, like closer in their age? I mean, at one point, I had begun to notice the negative impact of COVID-19 on the younger generations, and a lot of the principles I was taught as a child weren't being instilled in these children who are growing up in that technology era, where they were kind of raising themselves in a way, or being raised by negative influences on the internet. I mean, over COVID-19, we saw a lot we shouldn't have been seeing. And so I heard about becoming school rep from a friend of mine, and I became interested in the role to see how I could help those same kids struggling right here in my city. I mean, why start with the world when I see it locally? Why start big? Start small. You build, they grow on. So that was kind of my idea for this, and I'm so excited for my platform to be introduced next time. So thank you for listening to me today. Excited to see you guys soon.
All right, Karina, you said that you love you. We love you too. And
I love you guys as well.
And myself and the vice chair, we're going to take credit for the rest of our lives.
Really?
For choosing you as our student rep. I'm telling you, you got it going on. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Like, I wanted to go hug her. I feel like I need to hug her. Can I hug you?
All right. Agenda item 5 point. We got Ms. Brenda Crown up here. All right. Agenda item 5.1 is consideration of a religious exemption, case number 2023-2401. I entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hines, second by Ms. Boone. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 5.2, consideration of religious exemption case number 2023-24/02. I entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hines, second by Ms. Boone. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 6.1 is consideration of a resolution recognizing National Bullying Prevention Awareness Month. And I'll introduce for the first time at our school board meeting Dr. Sterling White, our new Chief Schools Officer.
Good evening, Chair Dr. Patillo, Vice Chair Atkinson, Superintendent Dr. Bracy, and the school board members. Whereas school bullying has become an increasingly significant challenge in the United States and Virginia, and whereas over 20% of the youth in the United States are estimated to be involved in bullying each year, either as a bully or a victim, whereas students who experience bullying are increased risk for depression, anxiety, sleep difficulties, lower academic achievements, and whereas bullying can take many forms, including verbal, physical, and most recently, cyberspace, and can occur in many places on and off the school grounds. And whereas it is important for Virginia parents, students, teachers, and school administrators to be aware of bullying and to encourage discussion of the issues as a community. And whereas the Portsmouth Public Schools has developed policy on anti-bullying to encourage positive behaviors and to significantly decrease student bullying. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Portsmouth Public Schools recognizes the month of October 2023 as National Bullying Prevention Month, with the intention that the issues of bullying and prevention be discussed in our schools and classrooms throughout the month.
Yes, sir. I entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Motion made by Ms. Hines, second by Ms. Boone. And before we do a vote for discussion, I just want to mention that every year I have to say that this this campaign was created by our student representative, Michaela Moore. So because of her impact as a student representative, we still have a positive stance to this day and a campaign that prevents children from being bullied every day in our school, and I really appreciate that. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 6.2, consideration of a resolution recognizing National School Bus Safety Week. Dr. White.
Whereas National School Board Safety Week is held during the third full week of October this year, and whereas the bus drivers, the Transportation Department of Portsmouth Public Schools are vital to the success of our students, and whereas National School Bus Safety Week is an active and evolving public education programs and an excellent way for parents, students, teachers, motorists, and school bus operators, school administrators, and other interested parties to join forces and to address the importance of school bus safety. And whereas the theme of National School Bus Safety Week is safely rolling to my destination. Now be it resolved that Portsmouth Public School Board designate October 16th through the 20th as National School Bus Safety Week, and be it further resolved that the board extends its sincere appreciation and to our dedicated school bus drivers, operators, transportation department personnel who provide critical components to the educating our youth, and be it finally resolved that this resolution be made a part of the school board's official minutes, and that copies will be forwarded to all schools and administrative offices.
Sorry, entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hines, second by Ms. Thomas. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda items 7.1 and 7.2 are non-agenda and board agenda public speakers. Do we have any at
No,
this time?
not tonight.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Is it okay with the board? Yes, ma'am.
Let me do the statement.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't know whether I was supposed to sign up or where.
No problem. We're just gonna have the clerk read the public agenda statement, and then you go ahead and make your remarks. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for coming.
As part of the school division's dedication to full transparency and collaboration in decision-making, the school board of the city of Portsmouth allocates time for public comment every regular meeting of the month to hear directly from citizens on matters of public concern regarding Portsmouth Public Schools. If you wish to address the school board, you must register with the clerk of the board ahead of the scheduled meeting start time. During public comment, each speaker will have 5 minutes to share their comments with board members. Speakers are not allowed to yield their time to another speaker, and they are not to make any formal resolutions, declarations, or proclamations as part of their comments. Speakers are reminded to maintain decorum and respect while addressing the board. Specifically, no individual, personnel, student, or family should be named in comments, as speakers are at their own risk of violating confidentiality laws and or defaming the subjects of their comments. Neither the school board, the superintendent, nor school administration will respond publicly to any comments by speakers. A written copy of speaker comments can be left with the clerk of the board, and any matter requiring a response will be directed to the superintendent and other school administration to address as needed. As the board opens to the public comment, the audience is asked to be respectful of all speakers.
Thank you for your patience. You get started.
Okay. Can I give you my name?
Yes, ma'am,
Yes,
please. Yes,
please.
ma'am.
Okay. My name is Tamisha Hatton Saunders. I attended Portsmouth Public Schools many years ago, and now my grandson attends public school now. And we have, oh, okay, I'm gonna put this right here. Yeah, I got it. Now my grandson's attend. One of the things is he's autistic. And when he got transferred to the school that he's attending now, it seemed to be a problem as to where he was to be placed. Now, as we were learning to deal with the school system, they told us IEP is law, as in it has to be regarded in the context of being law. If it's written in it, it's supposed to be abided by it. We have had several instances where it's in the IEP what's supposed to be done. It's not being done. Like, for example, he was put in a self-contained class, and he was supposed to be in a inclusion class. We didn't find out about it till almost the end of the year. Then it had to be adjusted then. We said, okay, we're going to work with it. Go. The next year, we were asked to keep him home a couple of days because in his IEP, it states that he's supposed to have a one-on-one teacher. They needed her elsewhere. So they wanted us to keep him home so she could work in another spot because the school had lack of teachers, didn't have enough teachers. Okay, we kept him home one day, and then my son, which is his father, he says, why is he not getting his education, but they're getting theirs by taking him and making him stay home? Okay, so then the next time we were asked 3 times. The next time we were asked, my son, nope. Me, nope. We had an IEP meeting, and we discussed that. It was supposed to be corrected. We are thinking, okay, you're promising you're going to get it together. Now this year, we were having a meeting. My son and my daughter-in-law went up to the school to speak with the principal, assistant principal, assistant principal. One thing they do when they go up there, they always got their phone on speaker, so whatever they say, I hear both conversations. I went back up there to speak with the principal to find out, this information, and she told me, she did not tell my son, she did not tell my daughter-in-law, she told me to tell them they were no longer supposed to be on the property. They can't come on the property. They have a special needs child. So what are we supposed to do when it comes to picking them up? Because as you see, I got a walker. I go to dialysis 3 times a week. So if anything happened during that time, who's going to be able to get him or pick him up? So the other morning, so happens, my son takes his son to school. He has to stand across the street and let somebody come out and get him. But I'm saying that's not going to always be available. We have had nothing told to us legally through the school board or anything about them not being able to come on the school grounds. When I asked about it, I was told, at first, when she told me to tell them, she said they were threatening to them. But then when we get an IEP meeting, I'm not threatened. So I'm like confused. Like, where are we supposed to go with this? How are we supposed to handle it? What do we do? And that's my question. I mean, I know you can't answer it now because of what.
No, but what I want to do is I want to have you give your name and number and information. You have a couple of issues going on, so if you could just give it to Dr.
Yeah.
White, and between he and Dr. DeVries, they can reach out to you sometime tomorrow to get this situation taken care of for you.
I would appreciate it.
Thank you. Now, I wasn't trying to cut you off, but
No,
I
no.
want to make sure you get what you need.
Yeah, I just want to know where to go.
Yes, ma'am. So if you can give them your information, they'll definitely be able to help you with that.
Okay. And I appreciate y'all listening because I know y'all busy up here, but I still feel like y'all are the ones to come. I felt y'all were the ones to come and talk to because y'all know what's going on and what can and can't and whatever.
No, and I thank you for coming. You should advocate for your child every step of the way. So.
Well, he got a, I say, it's a team of us.
That's right.
And grandma, my son and my daughter-in-law, yeah, they're young parents, but still, they're very passionate about their son getting an education because we know we're not going to be here forever. And we're trying to make sure he get an education that he'll be able to eventually take care of himself or know where he's going and where he should be.
Well, the parents have that passion and energy, but you got that wisdom. So thank you for bringing that wisdom on tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And please make sure you give them your information,
Okay.
please.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. All right, agenda item 8.1 to 8.15 is consent. I will just give a brief summary of that. Within the consent agenda, you will see another signature authority that is due to Dr. Cromartie no longer being with us, and Dr. White will now be taking that place with that. And you will also see 5 reappropriation resolutions there. And we're just coming back from the summer, so you're going to see about 6 contracts and our last 3 financial reports for that. Now I entertain a motion at this time for the consent agenda items.
Move for approval?
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hines, second by Ms. Moon. Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hines and then Vice Chair.
I'm sorry, you want to go first?
Oh, who want to go first?
Okay. I didn't see whose hand went up first. So I do want to take this time to just kind of say thank you for Mr. Falk and his team to Dr. Bracy, because within these reallocation requests that we're making to the city, it is year-end funds with funds that have not been spent. And so this year we had a little bit more than normal of funds that were not spent because we used grant funding to make those purchases. And so what we're going to do with these leftover funds is going to be so beneficial and so worthwhile. And it has been a 2-3 year discussion and a 2-3 year plan with the board and with staff. And so I just wanted to commend, and I wanted to just share a big thank you for making this happen in a day and age where we haven't been able to make it happen. You guys have moved rocks that have ended up being mountains. And so, so very grateful for the vision and for the dedication to you guys to make this happen for us. And so I'm excited as we move forward with this, and I can't wait to see what's next. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vice Chair Atkins.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to notate and give a kudos to the procurement team, Mr. Thomas, for very detailed contracts. There were several, and I did have a chance to review all of them. I just want to make a note to the board that the justification for one of the contracts is, I don't know if you guys recall, the City of Portsmouth did terminate our yellow fleet contract that we had with them. So now we are under a cooperative contract for our yellow fleet maintenance and repair services. So that is all squared away. And also the contract for network products and services through VITA. I know the urgency of that one, and we did have to go into a cooperative contract under that. And I would like Dr. Bracy to make sure I see here that the recommendation is that we bid out in 2024. So I know they're on that, and thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 9.1, Curriculum and Instruction Monthly Report for September 2023. Dr. DeVries.
Good evening, School Board Chair Patillo, Vice Chair Atkinson, school board members, and Dr. Bracy. I join you this evening to share just a few highlights of work within the Department of Curriculum and Instruction during the months of August and September. In August, C&I coordinators, senior supervisors, and specialists held content sessions for new teachers during our New Teacher Institute. That was several days of digging into the curriculum, learning about classroom management, and about all of the resources that we have to offer teachers in our school division. They also provided support for teachers during pre-service week in the form of sessions that they offered for teachers to get them ready for the first several weeks of school. C&I also spent summer months revising pacing and developing a new alternating pacing structure for 4th and 5th grade science and social studies, so that now teachers do not have to teach both subjects daily, freed up a little bit of time for them. We also, based on teacher and administrator feedback, eliminated the required use of a division-created lesson plan template. Instead, teachers and admin have been asked to focus on the process of planning for instruction, and were provided several different optional templates along with a lesson planning checklist. So our school division specialists and coordinators are working with admin on how to look for those components of high quality lesson planning versus just what's in a box on a template. Finally, C&I staff has been working in schools during the month of September to support teacher planning, help teachers and admin analyze data, especially as admin are creating their school improvement plans for the year, and then work specifically with new teachers on topics such as classroom management. We're really fortunate this year we have a new position, and 2 folks have filled that position, called teacher quality specialists. They were hired to work specifically with our new teachers to support them in not just their planning, but their instructional practice throughout the year in an effort to really increase our retention of teachers in our school division. So that concludes my C&I report for this evening. And next month, I believe our special education folks will be with you to give you some updates of what's happening in their office. At this time, I welcome any questions you might have.
Board members have any questions? Ms. Hines?
Thank you. I want to say thank you for getting rid of a template that a lot of teachers thought meant nothing. The lesson plan template has been a bone of contention for us on this board for a long time. And a current teacher myself, I hate to say I suck at writing lesson plans, even though this is year 22 for me. But the process does need to happen, and you do have to go in with a plan. So making it more organic, talking about what the outcomes are and what the relationships are with the teacher, with the kids, compared to putting something in a box that maybe somebody will or will not get to. That's the frustrating part, is that you spend time writing these lesson plans and nobody reviews them, or they're reviewing them and they're telling you that you've got a misspelled word, or your punctuation's not correct, not really looking at the detail that is in the lesson. So something that's more organic and more user-friendly for our teachers, especially now that a lot of our teachers are having to do lesson plans for subjects that they may not have taught, to actually allow them to get into the curriculum, into the process of teaching. So with that, thank you for listening. Thank you for having those walking and talking tours with people to hear their concerns and to make adjustments, because to do the same thing and expect a different outcome is the definition of insanity. And a really, really smart man said that. I cannot take credit for that one. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Dr. DeVries, for the presentation and the report. I think it's great as well, and I know we've been moving towards a not necessarily new model, but changing our model for elementary school students that are no longer switching classrooms for a certain grade. I do have a question. Are we tracking, now with the lesson plan template going away, are we tracking for the future to kind of understand now how teachers spend the bulk of their time to make sure that these new items that are implemented are, continuing to push forward what teachers have been telling us about just the time they spend on planning, lesson planning, and try to see how this new model works? Are we tracking that in any way?
Yeah, so my folks are consistently collecting feedback, and then so I could tell you that I've received some feedback recently about from some social studies and science teachers saying that they didn't feel like they had enough time. They felt pressed for time, and so we're looking at that now. But we're also looking at what's happening in the classroom and how we might be able to support them to better use the time that they have. Because that could be an issue as well. So there's always a number of things that we're looking at. But if there's ever a curriculum or a pacing issue, that's something we address. I expect to be addressed, especially if we hear about it consistently from a number of people. The time spent should be looking at student work as teachers are planning, not just common. There's a difference between common planning and actually looking at student work and planning for instruction based on what they're seeing. So we're trying to shift that mindset a bit and move away from just we're going to write the same lesson plan, but maybe we're going to write the same lesson plan, but why are we writing it the way we're writing it, and who is it going to benefit, and what students is it going to move forward? And so we've developed a data protocol that our reading specialists and our math coaches and our TRTs and our division specialists and coordinators have all spent the summer building their capacity in so that they can lead those conversations with teachers during planning. So we should start seeing a shift, and those are the kinds of conversations when I come back with my folks, my leadership team, I'm asking them about, what are you hearing about? What are you seeing when you go out? Are they utilizing the data protocol? Do we see that starting? So that should be the shift that we're seeing.
Any other questions? Ms. Hines?
Thank you. And to go along with the data conversation, we touched on this when we talked in the curriculum instruction meeting, teaching new teachers to use data as they move forward to address whether it was an instructional gap or whether it was a learning gap, because sometimes you think you hit the nail on the head with a lesson and it just flops. And then other times it's individual. But, and I know classroom management and I know the devil in the details for these first year teachers, but to get them started off with using the data and with being smart with it, not just checking off another box, we will have better outcomes for that later on, not specifically just with SOL scores, but with better overall instruction. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Agenda item 10.1, the monthly report. Superintendent, Dr. Bracy.
Thank you, Chair Patillo. Chair Patillo, Vice Chair Atkinson, and members of the board. Let me just start off saying how I'm excited for this year ahead. I know that we're going to accomplish a lot of great things this school year as we work together. To start my report tonight, I do want to share that we had one of the best school openings since I've been here in Portsmouth Public Schools. On the first day of school, I was at 7 of our schools, and I saw firsthand how our buses were rolling on time. Students and staff were excited to be back. In those mid-morning hours, the hallways were clear and instruction was taking place in the classrooms. I want to thank our principals, administrators, and their staff to make the first day great, and really these first 3 weeks be as seamless as possible. I think this has set the tone for what we should expect for the rest of the school year. It is still back to school time, so I need to make sure I remind families about state-mandated immunization students have to receive before they can attend school. All 7th grade students are required to have a Tdap booster shot. In addition, students must have the 2nd dose of the meningococcal vaccine ahead of 12th grade. Parents, we need your help to make sure these vaccines are taken care of. We've allowed students to have a 30-day grace period to receive these immunizations. However, we must have proof of vaccination by Friday, October 6th. If you need help getting your child the immunizations, please call the Portsmouth Health Department at 757-393-8585. My last back-to-school reminder is in regards to transportation. We've been working at routes to get students back to school more efficiently, and I thank families for their patience for the first weeks as we're still finalizing which students are using our buses. I will remind families that our Edgelog parent portal app is available. The app gives you live GPS location of your child's bus, as well as the push notifications when the bus is nearing your child's stop. The Educated Parent portal app is free of charge, and it can be downloaded for Apple and Android devices using the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. We're in our first weeks of school, and we already have some great events coming up. First, our PPS office, Title I and Special Programs, is hosting a Grand Families Resource Social Wednesday, September 27th from 10 a.m. to noon at Emily Spong. This event is aimed at grandparents or senior guardians who are raising children in our division. They will get information about all of the resources that are available to support them and other division programs that can help. In addition, next Saturday, September 30, we will once again be hosting a Title I Parent Center open house where families in our Title I schools can come and tour the Parent Center facility at Emily Spong and also receive information about what is offered to support their child's education. For information about either of these 2 events, please contact the Title I office at 757-393-8392. Thank you, Chairman Patillo. That completes my report.
Thank you so much, sir. Do we have any board member comments at this time? Vice Chair Atkins.
Thank you, Chair. Dr. Bracy, you did your report, but you didn't mention the pep rally. I mean, you forgot all about that. Was the greatest pep rally ever. I just want to give you kudos on that, and you really did that shimmy. So, and your sons, kudos on that. But just a couple of comments. Stop the Violence 757 is having a grand opening. Ribbon cutting this Friday, September 22nd, which is tomorrow. Yeah, I'm moving on to 2024, and that's at 900 High Street So please come out if you can for the ribbon cutting.
What
and
time is that?
will be at
6
6 p.m. Also, another thing, if it is the consensus of the board, our committee would like to move forward with the pilot program. Just want to let the board know that we did address the concerns that was mentioned. As far as the student piece, that does cover up to 24 students. That number that we had in the summer retreat was based on if there were 8 students. So you've seen the $5,000 if only 8 students enrolled. Hypothetically speaking, if 24 students enrolled, that'll be about $1,600 per student. So that does cover up to 24 students. And regarding to the concern about the centers, year 2, we are meeting with Portsmouth pastors. We will be meeting with Pastor Grove, Pastor Mount, and other Portsmouth churches to see how we can partner with them year 2 to have some centers, more centers in the city of Portsmouth. So I just want to let the board know that those concerns were addressed and that can be changed year 2, but we need to move forward. So if it's the consensus of the board, I would like to move forward with the pilot program.
I believe at the work session in 2 weeks,
Okay.
they're going to be presenting the.
Okay. I just want to let them know that your concerns were addressed. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was Dr. Cotton and then Ms. Thomas.
I just wanted to welcome all staff back to the school system, those who just come on. Just thank you for your work ethic and coming back, making sure that Portsmouth Public Schools is a wonderful division to be in. Also, I wanted to thank Dr. Falk again and everyone who works with the finances, including you, Dr. Bracy, on your wise spending as well as strategic spending that kind of cascades to employment, as well as they're able to be a part of all that you do financially. So I just want to thank you all again and say welcome, staff, welcome.
All right, thank you, Dr. Cotton. Ms. Thomas.
Yes, thank you, Chair. First, just another kudos to our student rep. I wish we could bottle up your energy and just spread it around the school. It's contagious, so please continue to be you as you present it to us and to everyone for this first school board meeting of the new year. It's awesome. You're a breath of fresh air, and I love what you said about making a change here locally before you move on to the world. So great attitude. Can't wait to hear your platform and support what you do and what you bring in front of us as what you want to bring to the school board system. So thank you. Secondly, just echoing what Dr. Cotton said for Mr. Falk. Great Budget and Finance Committee meeting with the chair and Dr. Bracy this week and what you presented to the board. We've had to sometimes be creative with funding to just make sure that we continue to elevate this school district. And I think just using the grant funds, the way we've used it, to then be able to prioritize some of the board wishes, especially for CTE and teacher retention, I just think is great. Thank you so much for being creative, for being a great steward of the money. And I'm looking forward to the city council supporting it as well, as I know it's shared priority. So thank you so much. And that's it.
All right. And Karina, have you signed up for the VSBA annual convention yet? Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we got to get that done.
Well, after, because you have to represent at the VSBA convention in Williamsburg. So let everybody know that the president's board rep is here in Williamsburg. So, all right, so we're gonna get her signed
Get
up.
her some swag too.
After,
Everybody
yeah.
knows she's from Portsmouth.
That's right. We gotta get her
Okay.
some swag. Absolutely.
Oh, and one more thing, Mr. VSBA President, we have not received our cards this year. So I don't know if there's a delay, but just letting you know we haven't received our athletic cards.
I mean, I know there's a supply chain issue.
I will check on that. But I want to say it was sent and Dr. Bracy lost them. So.
I'm working to replace him.
Ms. Boone and then Ms. Thomas.
Okay, no.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to the same welcome everybody back for this school year. I'm excited for all of the things that we've talked about, all of the things that are to come. At the VSBA conference today, one of the things that they talked about was the literacy piece, adding that for families. So I'm excited to see that part trickle down. So, and I probably will too be at the grandparents thing because I'm excited to see how we can get families connected, more involved in the school. So I'm excited about that piece too.
All right. Well, if all hearts and minds are clear, I want to thank you all for joining us on tonight, and this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you so much.